Hello. Thank you. Welcome to the second episode of Leadership Talks with me, Ratiba, mohale. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna have a great time today as well. Thank you so much. Just the ground rules. If you don't know who we are Empowerment Podcast, and this is Leadership Talks with Ratiba, mohale. And we talk everything leadership. I remember on our first episode we spoke about the structure of the show, that we're gonna firstly have a code, introduce the topic of the day and get into it, and if we have a guest we invite the guest and we introduce the guest and we're gonna go into the conversation with them. But today is episode 2. We're just gonna be the first code of our day is by one of the esteemed business leaders of the country, Wanamobu, a black child who's doing amazing, who's been doing amazing work for the past years, by the name of Prof. Bonang Mohale. We share his name, of course. But yes, so Prof. Bonang Mohale really inspires me so much. So here's a quote by him on leadership. He says, anyone who feels called upon to lead is a leader. Anyone who feels called upon to lead is a leader. So this simply means that you need to have a burning desire as well. You need to have a burning desire to lead, and something will propel you to go and lead. If you don't have the burning desire, and of course we'll break it down into when we discuss what is leadership, because there's a lot of things that this code encompasses, from an individual person to literally going out into following those burning desires that you have in your heart to lead. So that's the code for our day. The topic of the day, we're going to be talking about what is leadership at the core of it. What is leadership at the core of it? So what I did was I went to online to search what leadership is, and the dictionary says that it is an action of leading a group of people or an organization. Another definition says the state or a position of being a leader. So that's the dictionary definition of what leadership is. And personally, I think leadership encompasses a lot of things. But leadership as a concept, it requires human beings, it requires a common vision, it requires people that rally behind the common vision, and it requires someone who takes the forefront to lead and direct the vision. And sometimes you're going to be directing the vision and we having followers who are extremely talented, extremely smart, extremely intelligent, even better than you. But I believe that you get anointed to lead people who are either smarter than you, people who are even so much intelligent or skilled better than you, but you get anointed to do that. That is firmly my belief. So that's my belief, that you definitely get anointed to lead such incredible talents that you can lead. So, but at the core, what is leadership? So for me, leadership is about service. Leadership is about service. So service means you need to have something that you are serving. There has to be someone, and then there needs to be something that you are serving. So at the core of it is service. So that's an exchange. There's someone who's doing something for the next person, or someone who's doing something for people. And at the core of that, someone receives and someone gives, and there's an exchange of that. So that's what I believe leadership is. At the core of it is service. But this service requires a lot of things. You need to love whatever that you are serving. You need to have a heart for whatever that you are serving. And you need to really, really, really be obsessed with the development of whatever that you're serving. So you need to be obsessed with the development of whatever that you're serving. In this case, most of the time, the occurrence of leadership happens in a space where there's a group of people and they need direction. It's like that. I think it's nature at its core, because if you look at the packs of animals, the groups of animals, there's always one who is leading. There's always one in the forefront. If you read the animal kingdom as well, the lion has become that leader in that. So and even in the different groups of animals and the different types of animals, when they go in a group, there's always the one in the front directing everywhere. So everywhere, from ends to anything, there's always a group, and then there's always one who needs to direct the group. So I think leadership appears in everything. It appears in everything. And we believe the first quote that we quoted in our first episode says that everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything in this world rises and falls on leadership. Animal kingdom, human nature, everything rises and falls on leadership. There has to be someone who directs something. There has to be someone who gives a clear path. And if you don't have that someone, the likelihood of things to crumble and crash is very high. We live in a world that needs direction. We live in a world that needs guidance. We live in a world that needs leadership. South Africa as a whole right now is in deep cry of leadership. We can say yes, we got leaders, so, but we need to break down what types of leaders that are there, and what makes a great leader, what makes a good leader, what makes a bad leader, and then we will see whether we have enough quality of the leaders that we have, because maybe there is a conversation around position and leadership, because we need to break down that what is a position and then what is leadership, and can those things coexist, or they are separate things, and then if you have both, can you have both or not, because I feel personally that we have a lot of position, but we lack leaders. We have a lot of position, but we lack leaders. So maybe let's get into this. I went around doing some reading so that I can come in and share some of the insights. So I found that there are different characteristics of leaders. So I found 6 common characteristics of leaders. They are transformational leaders. And then there is delegative leaders. So those who delegate, there's delegative leaders. There's authoritative leadership. There's authoritative leadership. There's transactional leadership. There's participative leadership, and there's servant leadership. I think the servant leadership one is the one that is very, very close to my heart, because I believe that as a leader, you are a servant, and you cannot be a leader if you cannot serve. That is just my personal belief, that you cannot be a leader if you cannot serve first. And I believe that leadership comes from you have to be a follower first, to be able to serve and learn from those that lead you, so that when your time comes of being in the forefront, you are able You are able to lead with wisdom. You are able to lead with more knowledge because you have followed someone, you have served under someone who was a leader, and you were able to grasp, be able to learn, you're able to make mistakes and have more knowledge, so that when you move forward, you've got the more intel, you've got more experience as well of serving under someone, their mistakes, learning from their mistakes, and then that makes you a bit of a better leader, and to be able to lead and go forward as well. So maybe let's explain a bit those different characteristics of leadership, or the different leadership styles that are there. And if you see that you are that type of a leader, we're maybe gonna have a conversation with you. And so maybe I need to definitely ask what type of a leader you think you are. Every guest that's come through, we need to ask what type of a leader you think you are, and then we break down that type of a leader. And then what are the good things and the bad things about the type of a leader that you are, and we'll be able to learn from the different types of leaders, because I believe people are different. We are all different human beings with different facets. We cannot operate the same. And also we are very imperfect people, and therefore we are bound to make mistakes. Therefore we are bound to lead in our own way, and which sometimes might make other people happy, might not make other people happy. And the good thing is that if you have the willingness to learn and realize that when you lead people, you are leading people of different kinds, and you cannot apply the same method to everyone. It doesn't matter what type of leader you are, but you cannot apply the same method of leadership to everyone. So it causes for you to adapt, it causes for you to learn the people that you're leading, and it causes for you to be able to be flexible around in moving, and maybe making sure that everyone that you are leading feels part of the vision, because your core value is to rally everyone behind your vision so that they can carry it as their own and make sure that it becomes a success. So that's one of the key things. So maybe let's explain. The first one is transformational leadership. It says transformational leadership is a leadership style that emphasizes change and transformation. Leaders who adopt this approach strive to inspire their followers to achieve more than they ever thought possible by tapping into their potential. This is the type of leadership. This type of leadership can be highly effective in organizations looking to make significant change or transformation. Whew. So maybe today we can break down 3 leadership styles, and then we'll come back on the next episode. Then we break down other leadership styles and we finish them. So first one is the transformational leadership. It says that it is a highly rated leadership to bring change. These are people who are very inspirational, they are very transformative. Their core is people who want to inspire others to change and become better. And these are leaders that will definitely share motivation with you, leaders who have a focus on the future, leadership who have a focus on change, and they have a focus on people. They care much, and in the words of Bonang says, you must be obsessed with the development of the people that you are leading. So these are people who are really, really obsessed with the development of the people they are leading, and they make sure that their followers becomes better, their teammates becomes better, and they are not just following and there's no change in their life. So that's the leadership style. Are you that transformational leader? That's a question you should ask yourself, every listener who's listening today. Sorry. Are you that transformational leader? If you're listening right now, you listen to me right now, ask yourself that question. Are you that transformational leader? I think transformational leaders are needed. Very, very, very important. Are needed to change people, to bring a lot of transformation in the leadership, in the people, in the lives of the people they are leading. Maybe we should come back, and attach certain leaders into these different types of leadership style, and we break down their type of leadership. Obviously, some will be based on our experiences with them, some will be based on what we read and listen and see what they've built over time, and we think they are that type of a leader. The second one is delegative leadership, and these are leaders. They adopt their style. They have trust and rely on their employees to do their job. This leadership style focuses on delegating initiatives to team members. So this one is not that type of a leader who's very micromanaging. This one delegates. They tell you that, Ratiba, this is what you're gonna do. They leave you to swim and do what you are tasked to do. They delegate this. They delegate, and which I think all these leadership characteristics, every human being must possess them at some point, because every circumstance or every situation will require you to have that different type of style or leadership. And I think every leader should possess all these things, and it might be impossible to do that, but that's just my take, that at some point certain situations will call you to be delegative, certain situations will call you to be transformative, certain situations will call you to be another different type of a leader. So the second one is delegative leadership. This one's the focus on giving their team members their own space to do the work. They trust them, they rely on them, and they don't micromanage. They don't get too much involved in the work. They just give you, and you're gonna go and do it. And the success of that work, is gonna be definitely, rewarding for you, and also you're gonna be given the shine. You're gonna be given the time to shine with that, and you're gonna get an acknowledgement of the work that you have done. Which I like them, I like them as well. I like a, delegative leader. Obviously, when you're stuck, then you can go back and say, I can't seem to get this thing right. How do I go about it? But you have tried. It gives you confidence in the work that you can do as a follower or a team member of that specific leader. Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence in that you can do this thing. You can do this work. Maybe the third and the last one for today, we'll come back and definitely break down the other ones. I think we have 6, so we did 3 today. We're gonna break down the other 3 on the next episode. Make sure that you tune in. The last one is authoritative leadership. These leaders, they consider themselves visionaries. They adopt a style of mentorship to their followers. So these ones, they are very, very authoritative, and they tend to motivate as well and inspire those around them. But their strength is that they provide an overall direction. They provide their teams with guidance, with feedback, with motivation, and this type of leaders, or this type of leadership style, relies heavily on getting to know each team member. They are very, very, very involved. Like, they rely heavily on getting to know each team member, and and they give them feedback, they speak, They give you guidance, motivation that you need. They don't micromanage you as well. They need, like, they have a thin line between being hands-on and not micromanage, which I think is very, very important. But the other thing is that authoritative leadership has a tendency of, being a bit overbearing to the team members and create a bit of negative sentiment around that, because it's the team members sometimes feel like they can't breathe. They can't breathe because it's a leader that is very, very hands-on, and which I think it applies in different spaces where you need to be hands-on. It applies. Actually, I was talking to someone, and someone said that they saw an owner of a mall picking up papers, and that shook them. They're like, but this guy owns this place. Why is he picking up the papers? And I'm like, for me, in my head is like, principles. You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta love what is yours. So such people are hands-on, but there's a thin line between being overbearing. If you are that type of a leader, I think you need to find a way to balance the two. There's a thin line between being authoritative, which is too much hands-on and involved, and giving people time to breathe, so that you don't run the race of micromanaging the people that you are leading. But like as I said, every leadership style is required. Every leadership style is required for certain situations where there's decision making that needs to be done. You are quick to do that. You are not just sitting back. So there's every style. I feel like every leader in the world needs to have one of this. I mean, all the 6 of them, and then they need to come out in specific times when they are needed. You need to know when to be authoritative. You need to know when to be inspirational. You need to know when to be a different type of a leader. So I think that's very, very, very important to know. So today, I hope that you got some knowledge, you got some insights as well. Drop us questions, drop us comments. Let's engage on our platforms. And if there's something you disagree with, share with us as well that I disagree with this type. So today we only broke down 3 types of leadership styles, and we'll come back and break the other one on the next episode. So thank you so much for tuning in to Leadership Talks with Ratiba mohale. It's been such a great time. It's been such a great moment. It's a learning time. It's a learning curve for us. So thank you so much for joining with me on Empowerment Podcast and the team on Empowerment Podcast. Thank you for joining with us. Thank you for joining with us and choosing to listen to us as well. We are super, super grateful for you. We appreciate you. Let's continue to grow each other. Let's continue to engage. Search us, follow us everywhere on social media. Check us out on our streaming platforms. Everywhere we are in Empowerment Podcast, and we aim to empower you, inspire you, and equip you for the better journey that we are walking on this earth. Thank you so much. My name is Ratiba mohale, thought leader, a marketer, geologist, a husband, and most importantly, a child of God. A child of God saved by the blood of Jesus. And I love God so much. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. And make sure that you drop your comments. Make sure that you share with your friends. And let's grow the conversation on leadership. This is Leadership Talks with Ratiba mohale on Empowerment Podcast. Cheers. See you next time.
Empowerment Podcast. Inspire, equip, and empower.